1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Nishant Tushara and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. Russian airline Red Wings commences charter flight Mattala. The government assures the public service will not collapse due to the retirement of 30,000 public servants. A special program will be implemented in order to arrest motorists driving under the influence of drugs. Compensation has been given to farmers whose crops were damaged in the Maha season. International news, several countries announced new measures for travellers from mainland China. Sports cricket, the second test match between South Africa and Australia. Australia won by an innings and 182 runs. News in detail. Red-wing Russian aircraft carrying 412 passengers arrived at the Mattala airport in Sri Lanka at 9 a.m. today. The airport manager said that 2 flights a week will fly between Moscow and Mattala from today. Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva arrived at the Mattala airport to welcome this aircraft and its passengers, which came to Sri Lanka for the first time. The minister said that Mattala airport is a tourist destination. Therefore, the minister asked the travel agents in the country to arrange a program to bring foreign tourists to this airport. State Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government Janaka Wakkumala says that although nearly 30,000 public servants will retire at the end of this year, the public service will not collapse. The armed forces and the corporation board employees are to retire under this procedure. A committee headed by the Prime Minister's Secretary has been appointed to fill the necessary vacancies due to retirement. Accordingly, necessary steps have been taken to maintain public services. State Minister Wakkumala told the SLBC in the years 2021 and 2022, 64,000 graduates have been recruited for government service. The police state that a special program will be implemented in order to arrest motorists who are driving under the influence of drugs. Senior DIG in charge of Crimes and Traffic Range, Attorney at Law Kamal Silva said that the pilot project of this will be launched from the Colombo district. SDIG Silva mentioned that the necessary equipment required for identifying people who are under the influence of illicit drugs have already been imported to the country. He emphasized that the present only drunken drivers are being arrested by the police, and that in the near future, the police will also arrest individuals who drive under the influence of drugs. He added the National Council for Road Safety has provided 160 million rupees to the police to take measures for arresting drugged drivers. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Department of Registration of Persons to prevent illegal migration of people for overseas employment. Under the MOU, the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment has been given permission to access the computer system of the Department of Registration of Persons to prevent people going abroad using forged passports and identity cards prepared by changing personal data, such as the name, age, and the address. There are frequent cases where people who go abroad change their real information based on various reasons and prepare fake birth certificates, ID cards, and passports to travel abroad. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Compensation has been paid to farmers whose crops were damaged in the Maha season. At the Ministry of Agriculture, the relevant compensation was credited to the farmers' accounts this morning. According to the President's request, the Asian Development Bank has provided 8 billion rupees for this purpose. 10,000 rupees for 1 hectare of paddy and 20,000 rupees for 2 hectares of paddy has been credited to the farmers' accounts. Minister Mahinda Amravira informed that farmers who have not given their account numbers so far should immediately hand over their account numbers to the agriculture officer of the concerned area. The money will be given to the farmers in the next week. And that was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
Despite claims to the contrary, the COVID-19 pandemic is not over yet by any yardstick. The coronavirus has surged in China and many other countries, and they are expecting a fourth or even fifth wave of the disease, perhaps given by strains resistant to the crop of current vaccines and treatments. Although scientists have been warning for years that the governments and the health authorities should be prepared to handle a major global pandemic, countries were simply not ready for COVID-19 when it exploded back in March 2020. This is the primary reason that it has so far taken over 5 million lives worldwide, according to the official reports, though the World Health Organization believes that more than 15 million may have perished, as many cases were unreported or even misdiagnosed. And that was Watchlight.
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB, with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. Several countries announced new measures for travellers from mainland China. The UN says some aid programs stopped in Afghanistan after ban on women. And at least 10 people have been killed in a huge fire at a Cambodian hotel casino on the border with Thailand. Several countries have announced new measures for travellers from mainland China, including increased tracking and surveillance and PCR testing. The move comes after China relaxed its COVID-19 measures, announcing on Monday that it will end quarantine requirements for international arrivals on January 8th. The Biden administration yesterday announced that travellers from China will be required to produce a negative COVID-19 test starting next week. Malaysia and Taiwan has also announced new measures for travellers from mainland China, including increased tracking and surveillance and PCR testing. India has also announced safety measures like testing and medical scrutiny of passengers coming from China and other countries where the virus is prevalent. The United Nations said that some time-critical programs in Afghanistan have temporarily stopped. They have warned many other activities will also likely need to be paused because of a ban by the Taliban-led administration on women aid workers. Thailand police and local media say at least 10 people have been killed in a huge fire at a Cambodian hotel casino on the border with Thailand. The blaze broke out at the Grand Diamond City Hotel Casino in the border town of Pope at about 11:30 p.m. local time on Wednesday. The police say around 400 people were in the building when it caught fire. A video circulating on the social media shows that appeared to be people jumping or falling from upper floors. Authorities are still working to determine the cause of the fire. Back to the headlines of the World News. Several countries announced new measures for travellers from mainland China. The UN says some aid programs stopped in Afghanistan after ban on women. And at least 10 people have been killed in a huge fire at a Cambodian hotel casino on the border with Thailand. And that ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News.
A program to build houses for the homeless low-income families is being implemented in the Galle district. The Samurdhi Development Department is implementing this under the Saubhagya housing program. 66 houses will be constructed under this project and 3 houses will be built in each divisional secretariat. The funds allocated for this is more than 39 million rupees. And that was development news. And moving on to sports, the second match played between South Africa and Australia was won by Australia by an innings and 182 runs. South Africa scored 189 runs and Australia scored 575 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in their first innings. South Africa was able to score only 204 runs in their second innings. David Warner was adjudged the player of the match. And that was sports news.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest. An interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
A special sales promotion program for palm-related products in Sri Lanka will be implemented based on the Spires shopping centre in Barnet, London. The Minister of Plantation Industries states that this project is being implemented in collaboration with the Palm Development Board's registered distribution agency in England. The palm products of this country were recently exported to America and France. According to the ministry, the value of the order exported to France is $45,000. And that was business news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest. An interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Economic news, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first, and this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC. Imagine the possibilities.
Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation Nimal Siripala de Silva has instructed to expedite the currently halted expansion work at the Jaya Container Terminal, the oldest terminal fully owned by the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. During an impromptu inspection tour of the JCT, the minister pointed out that there are delays in the work of the development project and instructed the ministry secretary to immediately call the Chinese company entrusted with the work of filling the sea and building the terminal and inform them to complete the project on the agreed dates. After the development of the Jaya terminal, which is currently 1,260 meters long, it will be 1,380 meters long and will be able to berth 2 360-meter long ships at the same time. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
The Department of Meteorology forecast showers or thunder showers at a few places in the Sabaragamu province and in the Galle and Matra district during the afternoon or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. General public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. And that was the weather report. And before we conclude this news broadcast, the headlines once again. Russian airline Red Wings commences charter flights to Mattala. The government assures the public service will not collapse due to the retirement of 30,000 public servants. A special program will be implemented in order to arrest motorists driving under the influence of drugs. Compensation has been paid to farmers whose crops were damaged in the Maha season. International news. Several countries announced new measures for travellers from mainland China. Sports cricket, the second test match between South Africa and Australia. Australia won by innings and 182 runs. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.